Hi everyone, I hope that you're doing well and welcome back to my channel. It's been almost 2 years since I moved to Spain to become an English language assistant or auxiliar de conversación, and today I wanted to share my tips for how I found, advice and tips for how I found accommodation in Spain. So the first tip that I have is to use Facebook groups. Chances are that if you're an English language assistant, you are coming to Spain, wherever it is, with a program, and there will be Facebook pages for those programs for assistants moving, to a specific destination. And so I found a lot of English language assistance pages on Facebook or auxiliar de conversación pages, and people will often post about themselves on those pages, saying who they are, that they're looking for flatmates, they're looking for a flat, and people will generally comment down below and say, oh, I'm also looking for a flat, let's look together, or oh, I also have a spare room in my flat that I'm looking to fill. And this is how one of my friends found their flat. They posted about themselves, that they had recently graduated, that they were looking for a flat in Madrid, and people commented, and she went and essentially found a flat in Lavapiés in central Madrid as well. The second piece of advice that I have for finding accommodation in Madrid is to use the app Idealista. Now, as I just said, Idealista is an app for finding flats to rent or rooms in flats, and a lot of landlords or I think tenants looking to fill a room in their flat will post on there on the daily, and during the months of September, October time, the rooms or flats go quite quickly. So it's important that if you find something that you like on there, that you follow up with the landlord or the tenant, preferably by giving a phone call. You can message on the app, but you might get a quicker response if you literally just phone them up. And I would also recommend that you have your Spanish up to scratch a little bit, as chances are that, particularly in Madrid, these tenants or landlords might not speak English, and so I'd really encourage you to have some Spanish vocabulary in your head. So in terms of like alquiler, like rent, piso, which is apartment, una habitación, which is a room. So just know those kind of words. It will help you have those initial conversation if the person that you're communicating with does not speak English. And also, I would strongly encourage you to view, if you're interested, to view a flat in person, so as to avoid scams, etc. During September, October time, a lot of people are moving to Madrid, whether that be students, work, etc. And unfortunately people take advantage of it, so definitely make sure that you can view an apartment in person, and also have your common sense about you. So if chances are that you're moving into somewhere, or not moving in, but like if you're looking to rent a place and they say there isn't a deposit required, that to me is a red flag. So just have your wits about you. Another thing that I like about Idealista is that they have a map feature where you can circle an area in the city that you are moving to, and it will locate the rooms or the flats that have been put up on there. And yeah, it's just a quick way of finding flats in areas that you're looking at. Now, the third piece of advice that I have, and this will only really apply if you're a student whilst also being an English language assistant, so if you're doing this for your year abroad, for example, as part of your university degree, or you have just recently graduated, there are estate agents such as like Aluni, Homiii, that rent accommodation only to students or recent graduates, and they will post on their websites flats that are available, rooms in flats, and you can contact them and view flats essentially. This is how I found my accommodation, as I was a recent graduate when I moved to Madrid. But yeah, and also in Spain you are on as an auxiliar. When I was doing it, at least, we were on a student visa. But I would strongly encourage you to email these types of estate agents if they are known for only renting to students, to check if you are eligible. So I didn't think I was, but then for accommodation that I was interested in, I read the terms and conditions, and it said and recent graduates for that specific flat, and so yeah, it worked in my favour. So definitely do not rent an apartment or room without having seen it beforehand. And if you can't make a flat viewing or whatever for any reason, maybe get a friend or someone to view it for you if you have that privilege. Likewise, if you're able to have a FaceTime call with the person who would be doing the viewings, like ask them, can you show me the street, can you show me what the door looks like, what the flat looks like, all on a video call, and you can kind of see this most likely is not a scam, as you know, obviously you've seen like the building number, the street name, yeah, the door number, just everything, and you can see how it all fits together. And also you can obviously check then afterwards on Google Maps to make sure, like, yeah, this is what the building that they entered looks like. Also, work out what are your essentials and non-essentials, and by this I mean no flat is going to be perfect, but if there are things that you absolutely must have in your flat, please be aware of them, and things that are like ideal but like you don't have to have, like a bathtub, for example. Yeah, so work out what are your essentials and what are your non-essentials. So like what would be a flat deal breaker and what wouldn't be as well. It's important to remain flexible, as yeah, as I said, no flat is perfect. My final point would be to ask your school if they can provide accommodation. Some schools in some regions of Spain do have their own accommodation for assistance or can best advise. In my case in Madrid, this wasn't the case, but they did put me in contact with the English assistant that had renewed at the school, and it is just useful to hear from someone if you don't know anyone who's living in the place that you are moving to and has also been in the same position as you, moving to Spain as an expat, and how they went about finding their own accommodation. And also maybe even the teachers can help you, as they're also obviously living locally or nearby, and can give you some tips and tricks. So that's the end of the video. It can be quite daunting moving to a new place and having to find your own accommodation. I'd never done that before. I was an English assistant, but the main thing is to stick with it. You will find somewhere eventually. Use your common sense, and once you've found a place to live that meets your needs, everything will go from there and you can start building a life and enjoying Spain.